Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in Coaching Conversations. I'm Maria.
And I'm Lourdes. Stay tuned until the end for some practical practices you can start using right away.
All right, great. So today let's talk about the feeling of being happy or feeling empty. You know, that emptiness, when you have that weekend and you do nothing at all, and all the things you thought you wanted to do, like watch the latest show or, binge Netflix or something, or start scrolling on your social media, get some takeout. And after the whole weekend, right, you've done these things, you've indulged yourself, but at the end, you feel this like emptiness, this restlessness, and really a little, hollow, basically. And, I know when I get it, like sometimes just watching TV during the week, and it's just a couple of hours, I notice that I start munching on something if I'm feeling that hollowness. How about you, Lou?
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's the paradox of modern life, right? We have more entertainment and more distractions than ever, but many of us are also like facing a real crisis of purpose, right? We're so good at consuming, but maybe we're forgetting how to contribute.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's the core problem we're tackling today. Because I feel like, well, we feel like a lot of us are feeling that feeling of being lost or feeling adrift, despite having, really everything that we need.
Yeah, and honestly, this is guidance that I wish I had had in my 20s and 30s, and it certainly would have changed trajectory of my own life and behavior if I had come across these concepts and guidance earlier. And I know that there are young people out there who are also struggling with this kind of thing, and that's why I'm thrilled that we're doing it because you know oftentimes we think that the joy and rest that we're searching for is in idleness. But what if it's found in something else entirely? We're we're going to dive into why we're wired to find true contentment, and it's not in what we get, but in what we give.
Yeah, it's so tough when you've been working hard all week and you finally get your rest day, your weekend, only to feel more exhausted and unfulfilled after the weekend or after your rest days. And I remember a few years back, I had a Saturday where I didn't have any plans, and then I thought, oh, perfect, I'm gonna binge, gonna watch my show. I think it was Game of Thrones that I was binge watching. And I watched TV. I watched, probably a whole season. And I ordered delivery. But at the end of it, I didn't feel that I rested. And I felt agitated, like that I had wasted something valuable. It felt like I had a full tank of gas, but it just sat there.
Yeah, no, that definitely resonates. And I experienced something similar, related years ago. Um, on the outside, my life looked pretty perfect. Nice home, husband, kids, all of the external stuff kind of ticked off, right? But in truth, I felt kind of lost and empty inside. It was a classic case of the hedonic treadmill, right?
Yeah.
Chasing the next thing you think will make you happy, but not really getting any closer to lasting joy. I had everything, but I wasn't really creating anything.
Right. That's like with Viktor Frankl, he called the excuse me, the will to meaning. He said our primary human motivation isn't pleasure, but a search for purpose. His work showed people to find meaning through three things: purposeful work, love, and courage in the face of suffering. The joy and rest we're talking about today comes from that first path. Our brains are hardwired to find satisfaction not in the passive enjoyment of life, but in the active, mindful contribution to it. So that feeling of the hollowness that I was referring to, it's not a flaw. It's actually our psyche, or I like to say our subconscious mind. It's telling us that we're missing something, that we're missing a key ingredient, and that key ingredient, that's purpose.
Mm, so true. And so let's talk about what's actually happening in our brains when we feel this restlessness from passive consumption. So, like when you watch a new show or get a like on a post, you get a hit of dopamine, right? And it's a quick pleasure hit, but it doesn't last. It's like a sugar rush that leaves you feeling kind of jittery and, empty when it's over. And this is activating the part of our brains that is associated with anxiety and rumination. So when you're just passively consuming, you're giving your brain free rein to kind of run wild, which is the opposite of rest. So a lazy day isn't a rest day. It's just our brain kind of worrying on autopilot.
Right, but the beauty or the beautiful part, when you engage in a focused, social, useful act, like helping a neighbor, writing a card, even journaling, or getting the clothes ready for donation, something like that, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and it's a more sustained, uh, rewarding flow of dopamine. And this gives you that deep sense of fulfillment and belonging because you're we're all wired for connection and contribution. And this isn't just about a one time thing, this is about neuroplasticity. So the more you do it, the stronger the neural pathways are. So you're really, literally rewiring your brain towards greater resilience and greater happiness.
Yeah. So, now that we know why our brains feel restless, how do we actually find that joy and rest? Here's the gentle challenge. The next time you have a moment of downtime, instead of reaching for your phone, try the purposeful pause. Ask yourself, what's one small socially useful thing that I could do right now? Maybe it's something simple like emptying the dishwasher or sending a kind, supportive text to a friend who's struggling. Maybe it's watering the plants, right? It's about replacing passive consumption with active contribution. And this can even look like taking a 15-minute walk or finally tackling that junk drawer.
Yeah, I have to like laugh a little bit because I'm so bad at watering one plant that I'm responsible for, and it's like, the cleaning lady always says, "Hey, what happened? You didn't water the plant." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I keep forgetting." Anyway, I'm gonna put that on my list. Another strategy is to do a joy audit. Take a look at your day or your week. Where did you feel a true sense of joy and rest? Was it from binging a show, or was it from helping a friend move, or working on a meaningful project? And that just reminds me, we play dominoes with a couple of friends, and when we get together, we're always laughing, and it always feels so much better than just watching television. Where we always bond and connect. We talk about serious things. We talk about everything. We talk about family. We talk about our family history. How we were brought up, and emotional things, all while we're playing dominoes. And it really is something that is really fulfilling, and it creates such um, a connection. Um, but this helps you see the real sources of your happiness when you check to see where you're getting that fulfillment, like I just did. It's not about really being busy. It's about being present and purposeful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said before, we're all wired for connection, and so when we sit around and watch TV for long experienced times, we're really depriving
Mm.
ourselves of that rather than spending time with friends or loved ones. Something that I do and purposefully kind of prioritize is spending quality time with my daughters. And thankfully, in their 20s, they're still willing to hit the flea market with me. Yeah. So, who is this for? If you're a high achieving, a high achiever struggling with burnout, or you might be stuck on the hedonic treadmill of success. Maybe you're feeling empty despite material success. Maybe you have everything, but don't feel like your life has meaning or purpose. Maybe you feel lost and adrift like I did. This is for you. It's also for caregivers and service workers who need to find a way to build in pockets of fulfillment within their demanding roles.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's basically for anyone who wants to trade that fleeting pleasure of passive mindlessness, the watching the TV, the endless scrolling, and you want that lasting happiness, the happiness of a purposeful life.
Yeah, and it's so important for us right now because our world is designed to keep us, kind of distracted and consuming. And this is a counter cultural act of liberation, right? So let's make this a daily habit with a 4-point practice, right? Start with the 15-minute purpose. Sometime today, replace 15 minutes of passive consumption, scrolling, TV, whatever, with one simple, useful task. It could be helping a neighbor, organizing a shelf, or sending a thoughtful email. And then mindful observation. When you're doing something for others, even a small act, be mindful of how it feels. Pay attention to the sense of peace and satisfaction that it brings.
Right. And then the gratitude exchange. Thank someone in your life for something they've done for you. Not a quick text, but a sincere expression of gratitude. This strength, it strengthens the social bond and connection. And the bonus is here that it releases those oxytocin hormones. So you get that, right? And then the next thing is ask the why question, right? At the end of the day, ask yourself, in what moment today did I feel a true sense of joy and rest? And see if you can identify it, if it came from an active contribution or from something else. We really hope that you give this practice a try. It's a gentle challenge, but it might be the key to unlocking the joy and peace you've been looking for. And, we want to hear from you. Share your experiences with us in the comments below and let us know what resonated with you.
Yeah. Remember, your purpose is not just something you find, it's something you can create. And so we'll leave you with this powerful quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. The purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, and to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Now, for those of you who know me well, you know that part of my mission also includes to be happy and to help others to be happy as well. But that's part of my purpose.
Yeah, no, ditto, ditto. Thanks for being here. We're walking this path right alongside you. Take care of your heart, take care of your mind, and take care of yourself. And if you found this helpful, Support our work by liking, following, sharing, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.